No, so I'll just get right to it. So my first question for you is, give me like an introduction. Like, tell me about yourself and your life up to this point and how you ended up finding yourself running for public office.
Okay. My name's Charles Hendricks. I'm an architect here in town. I own a firm called Gaines Group Architects. We specialize in sustainable design. We do all types of projects, custom residential, small renovation jobs, commercial. And over the years, I've figured out that my passion is reflected in our mission statement that for our firm that I wrote, that through design, we can create a better future. So from that, we started doing a lot of pro bono jobs, and I've been passionate about volunteering for various organizations for years. I started with construction-related industry stuff to help grow my career, and it just caught on, and I've continued to find organizations to give time to, and I can give design time or I can just give time to organizations. So passion for volunteering and building a better community is kind of the basis of the kind of architecture that we do and where I find fulfillment in my life. So as the city has grown, I've been here for 12 years now, the city has continued to grow and downtown has flourished and is a very vibrant place now. JMU has continued to grow in number of students and land that they acquire. And the city started building buildings, the new elementary school, Bluestone Elementary, and the municipal building downtown, and then the new high school that is on hold but is in process. And while the decisions they were making were not bad decisions, these were buildings that we needed, the growth is needed, it became clear to me that there was nobody on city council that was directly representing the design construction industry as they made decisions. So when I was approached to run for city council, I saw that there was a fit for me. There was something that I could bring to the table that would add value, and I could make a positive contribution to the community. And I feel like that's my calling. That's why I'm in the community, is to give to others and to help others. So the high school needs to get back up and running. There will be more school construction in the future. And then the other piece of it is that Harrisonburg is poised. We're right on the cusp to be a model city for sustainability and resilience. And that's my area of expertise. That's what I do. Building science is that's where I do architecture well. So I know how to implement solar PV. I know how to get buildings more energy efficient. So I can offer a voice to those things as Harrisonburg has been working through how to make those decisions. And then there wasn't somebody on city council that owned a business. So Chris Jones is very versed in business aspects of life, but he doesn't own a business. He does work on commission, so it's like he owns a business. But I can also bring a voice as a small business owner in town. And I've been very active with Harrisonburg Downtown Renaissance for the 12 years I've been here. And I understand the challenges of owning your own business. There's incredible ups and joys and wonderful rewards, but it's hard work to own a business. And we need somebody on city council that can speak to that.
So what is one thing, I mean, I kind of can guess how you're going to answer this, but I want to hear it from you. What's one thing that you'd like to see change in Harrisonburg?
Well, there's a couple of things that I want to work on immediately. So I think the most important thing is to get solar PV on rooftops, on municipal buildings, on our schools, and to give HEC a encouragement, empowerment. I don't know if we'll go to mandate, but I wouldn't be opposed to a mandate to have 50% of our power in the city provided by clean energy sources. So I think that's the biggest charge that I have in front of me. There are a lot of other things that I think we should work on immediately. I'd like to see a sustainability manager within the city. But that would help out with a lot of these decisions. And that's a position that other cities have, other major cities have. So I think it's something immediate we can work on.
So I'm going to change gears a little bit and talk a little bit more about JMU's relationship with the city. How do
Sure.
you feel that JMU impacts the decisions that Harrisonburg City Council makes?
Yeah. Um, I am, I've been here for 12 years. I see the value of JMU. When the students aren't here, business slows down. We need JMU. It's an economic incubator. It brings knowledge and diversity to our community that we wouldn't have otherwise. Harrisonburg would not be Harrisonburg without JMU. It wouldn't be Harrisonburg with some other things too. JMU is not the most important in but it is maybe the second largest employer in our town, and it's a major economic incubator for our businesses that we rely on JMU. So there are meetings that happen when you're an elected official that me as an architect and a small business owner, I don't get invited to, and I'm not part of that conversation. And I'd like to be part of those conversations to help build better bridges between JMU and the Harrisonburg community. When I went to college, I was never, I went to community college before I transferred to UVA. So I was never the stereotypical student. I never lived in dorms. I always lived off campus. Most students saw me as a townie in Charlottesville, even though that's not where I was from. So I get that student townie kind of divide, and I don't see that. I don't like labels. We're one community, and together we're better. So I think being in the conversations, being in the room to have those conversations with JMU and offering different insights, because my background is different from anybody else on city council. And I'm trained as an architect, you're trained to hear multiple viewpoints and bring together solutions to problems. I think being in the room for those conversations, we can build better bridges and take advantage of some of the wealth of resource that JMU has to better our city. But JMU can also take advantage of some of the wealth of resources our city has. Like I lecture at the university on a regular basis for different faculty. So tapping into the experts in our community to help the students understand better what our city is about. One of the biggest missing pieces that I think we have between JMU and Harrisonburg is a lot of JMU students graduate and leave. And that doesn't have to be the case. We can provide more opportunity. And now, because of COVID, businesses around the world have seen they can work remote. So you graduate from JMU, you might want a job at a company that's located in San Francisco, and you can stay in the place that has one of the highest qualities of living in the country here and work at that company across the country. So I think there's some opportunities that we have to further our relationship with JMU, to continue those conversations. And me not having been in the room for those conversations in the past, I don't know all the details of why we do things the way we do them. But also being new, I can ask questions and challenge things that we've always done. One of the worst things in the construction industry is when I ask something and I hear, because that's the way we always do it. That is never an answer, but that's often the reason.
I like that. So you touched on it briefly with, COVID, but how do you think, I'm assuming you've been keeping up with it as someone running for city council, but how do you feel that JMU has handled the return of students in the fall?
I'm not going to cast any blame on anybody. I think it could have been done better. I think they've learned lessons, and I'm hoping that the October date where students are coming back again will be done differently. I've watched other universities, and I'm seeing similar impacts where they're locking at UVA, they're locking down dorms because they're finding it spreading within the dorms. This virus is all new. We've never had anything like this before in our country, and unfortunately, it's been politicized, and it doesn't need to be. Our country is under attack, and had it been a military attack, we would have come together as a country and fought back. And for whatever reason, we're divided on how to fight back. And the science is clear: wear a mask, physical distance, don't gather in large crowds. So I know that majority of JMU students understand that and are following that. I do believe that there are some that aren't following those rules and doing what they could be doing. I saw on the news this morning, I think it was Arizona, maybe. There's a country in the Midwest that's having a major outbreak, and there's a university there, And that mayor said, students, if you want us to treat you like adults, you need to start acting like it. None of us want to give up our Halloween, our holiday parade, our 4th of July fireworks, our fraternity parties. It's a rite of passage for a college student to have these social gatherings, but right now we just can't do it. So we all need to do our part to slow the spread. And I think the officials at JMU, the people that are making these decisions, have a lot of hard choices. They need to survive as a business. They also need to keep their students safe. If they don't keep their students safe, they can't survive as a business. And any decision they make has a profound impact on our larger community. So we're in that fight with JMU to help stop this spread. And hopefully here in October, and as the weather cools, and we will have to change things again. I don't like the word pivot, but we're going to pivot again here as things change. And you can't sit outside at restaurants anymore. And more people are enclosed in buildings that don't have the appropriate indoor air quality. And this is back to my world, how air is distributed through a building. A lot of buildings are built to the minimum code requirement, which is the worst possible thing you can do by law. That's the lowest level. And because of that, there's not going to be enough fresh air, and there's going to be more breathing of virus.
So why, given some of your stances, why should a JMU student or a college student in general vote for you?
Yeah, why should anybody vote for me that's a better question, not just specific to a student. I think I have a vision to build a more resilient city for the future. So I'm looking at long-term planning. As an architect, I look at long-term planning, long-term solutions. So I think I moved to Harrisonburg 12 years ago because I saw it as a beautiful place to raise my family. And I think that's why a JMU student would want to stay here. As we build more resources, as we become a place for remote work to happen, as we become a place for a technology hub. It's one of Laura Dent's priorities is to expand our technology sector in town. It gives opportunities for JMU students. So I think having a city council that works well together, which Dina, Laura, and I have been working well together while running for office, and I know Sal and Chris, and I get along well with them, we can make good decisions for all the people of Harrisonburg, not a particular sector of people in Harrisonburg, and move us forward. It's not one of the biggest mistakes that we made over the years is we used to have a city council that was focused on business only, keep the taxes low, make business thrive. And that's a great idea, but it doesn't work for a holistic community. Now we have affordable housing challenges because we haven't been addressing affordable housing for years in the past, for the last 10 years, maybe the last 20 years. So why JMU students should vote for me? Because I want to make a better city for them, just like I want to make a better city for everybody else that lives here.
This question I'm about to ask is probably going to feel a little redundant, but why do you think you're the most qualified person to be on city council?
I don't think I'm the most qualified. I think I bring qualifications to council that are not there now. So background in building, the things that I've talked about, understanding of sustainability, representing small business. I think I can work well with the other 4 that I believe should get elected. I think I'll work well with anybody. I've been told so many times that I have friends from both sides, from all parties, and I do. I get along with most people. And I'll work well with whoever comes to the table.
All right, last question. What is your favorite part of Harrisonburg? Your favorite part of the community, your favorite part of, it can be, I'm not speaking as like one physical like location, but like your favorite thing about Harrisonburg.
Yeah, I think it's the diversity of the community. Our local high school has 60 plus languages spoken into it. I love to eat. The food scene in Harrisonburg is phenomenal. There are any type of restaurant that you might want to find, or food trucks with just diversity. And one of the music scene is diverse. It's not as diverse as I would like it to be, but it hits all the parts of music that I need right now. I'm missing that during COVID. And then the food scene is just phenomenal. I'm not a foodie. I like good greasy fried chicken kind of food, but there's good food here in Harrisonburg. and I do love to eat. So the diversity of the community, and I'm getting to know so many people being here even before running for office from all backgrounds. And as somebody that really doesn't care about the labels, and I'm learning to be anti-racist, not just not racist. So being friends with so many people in the community and learning their backgrounds and their cultures and their way of living and their values. It's one of the best things about being a Rotarian is it brings everybody to the table as an equal. And I just enjoy that part of Harrisonburg. And it's not the same in every city. Harrisonburg is a very unique place. The reason I moved here for the Valley, it felt like home because I grew up in a valley. So, but the reason I'm staying here is because the way of life, the culture that's here is exactly what I want to raise my family in.
All right.